this is what if Deku was a werewolf part 2. Now guys, sometimes I will be doing videos with not much energy, but there's the energy part. So pretty much, I last left off where Deku was talking to his dad after the whole entire city breakout event, doing the city breakout event with Shigaraki and his goons trying to take out the city. Now, pretty much before that whole entire fiasco, um, Ida does witness, and Todoroki has witnessed something that Deku is keeping up, and Deku did, reveal that he's a werewolf to Todoroki and Ida, if I didn't mention that last time. So Deku will eventually, tell the news to Kirishima, Bakugo, Ochaku, and, who did I ship Deku with again? I think I shipped Deku with, So guys, I went back in my comments to try to find out who I shipped Deku with. I don't think I shipped Deku with anybody. So Deku will be eventually telling Momo. Ochaku or Momo is going to be the two people that Deku's either going to date or get, a crush on. So, and also for that fact, that matter, my Deadpool what if, I will be doing a Mirako X Deku. So yeah, and for my Carnage symbiote, my Carnage, what if Deku was Carnage, I did mess up that ship a little bit. I did forget that Deku was supposed to be shipped with Momo, so I will, fix that up later on in part 4. So, I mean, yeah, part 4. So, pretty much Deku walks into class, and pretty much everybody's talking about how their internships went, and that is amazing. And after that, they get told by Zawa because they're doing, fighting or exams, practical exams, written exams, physical exams, pretty much the big test. Now, Deku goes, studying with Momo and Ochaku and the rest of the crew. And Deku, while he's there, does stop by and stop Kirishima in the hallways and ask him, do you want to know something cool? Kirishima says, yeah, bro. And a couple minutes later, Deku proves to Shigaraki that he's an actual mythological werewolf. Shigaraki's psyched and says, can you turn me? Deku says, no, you wouldn't want it. Shigaraki says, oh yeah, because the full moon and all. Deku says, yeah. And pretty much they walk back into the building, and pretty much Momo doesn't know yet. No one else in the class knows it except for Todoroki, Ida, and Kirishima now. So Deku walks back in there, studies, and gets a pretty good grade, a really good grade at that point for the what was it? Oh yeah, for the physical exam. Everybody gets in their hero costumes. If you don't know what Deku's hero costume is, go on part 2 of what if Deku was a werewolf. But I will just show you a little clip of it. Deku's hero costume is basically this, but you just gotta go to part 2 to see, the full outfit. So, Deku basically, gets ready and everybody gets, psyched and doped up. They get started and they get told that they're going to be doing verses between the pro heroes and them. Deku in the class is confused, but also very excited, some of them, and get ready. Everybody's teamed up the same. Um, Deku's teamed up with Bakugo to fight All Might. Now Bakugo, Bakugo, doesn't know yet, but Bakugo is doing something of his own. Back at home, we're doing a little flashback. Bakugo went back home and saw that his cousin was there. Deku went over there and says, who is this? And his mom said, this is your cousin. This is your cousin, Draken Katsuki. Bakugo is confused. And then Draken Katsuki says, you know what? Come back to my mansion on blah blah blah, and I'll show you something, and I might give you something that you really want, kid. Now, Deku is a lot more stronger than Bakugo, and Bakugo is going to be kind of, desperate to become stronger and get the upper hand on Deku. Now, Deku and Deku and Bakugo get ready, and they get in their hero costumes. So, and everybody else gets their hair costumes. There's a little skim through who lost and who won. First match was Kirishima and Sugar Rush. They lost. Second match, I think, was pretty much, let me just pick the matches. Not in order, but just Teruki Momo against Azawa. They won. Um, the animal talking guy and Jiro. They won against President Mike for Ochaku and the laser, the anal the naval laser guy. They pretty much, it does go down a little bit different. Ochaku does feel, sort of urge through her body, like it's some sort of energy, and some sort of pink energy or electrical energy gazes down into the earth, shocking 13 into the feet, knocking him out. Everybody's confused that 13 just passed out. They do it a forfeit and they automatically just win. So Ochaku's confused what happened, and the second that energy left her body, 13 was knocked out cold. Now you're probably wondering, what am I gonna be turning Ochaku in? Let's just say somebody with a little broom. So some people with brooms might know what I'm talking about. Not just freaking with you. I was gonna say up front, Ochaku's gonna be a witch. So yeah, Deku pretty much gets ready, and after that he gets ready, up and daddy, and ready to fight. So Deku goes into the model city with Bakugo. Bakugo has the same conversation with Deku. Deku doesn't say that he wants to run away. He just says that we have to work together to beat him because he's the #1 hero. And pretty much Deku does feel like he's a little bit more stronger than All Might. Bakugo says, "I'm not gonna give up, and I'm not gonna work together with you, you idiot. And if we are working together, stay the hell out of my way." Deku is like really pissed at this and about to sucker punch Bakugo, but they get stopped by All Might throwing a wind punch right between them, about to take him out. All Might does the whole entire same talk, and Deku says, "Man, back up," and transforms into his wolf form. Deku runs towards All Might. All Might pit bitch slaps Deku, sending him flying. Deku does get his composure back and lands on the side of a building, crawling into it, latching onto it, like kind of like a Spider-Man type of move, up the crawling up the building all the way to the roof, seeing that Bakugo's trying, fighting for his life down there, going all out between Deku and Bakugo. Deku's only seeing Bakugo getting his ass whooped by All Might. Like, it ain't even a fight. All Might just bodying Bakugo. Deku sees this happening and says, "Man, I gotta save him," and pretty much jumps into action. Deku lands on top of All Might and starts scratching and clawing into him, but not too deep to, turn him, or not biting All Might to, turn him as well. So, the only way you can stop a turning, if Deku ever bit somebody, he would have to rip off that part of the body that he bit off, or a chunk of the flesh that he bit off, or he would have to, kill you. So, yeah, Deku just starts, clawing into All Might. Now, All Might gets upper hand, grabs Deku's ears, and starts throwing him side to side into buildings, and pretty much Broly, grabbing him by the head and Broly styling him through the buildings, throwing him left to right. Deku gets up, seeing that All Might's about to, go for a finishing blow, but Deku dodges it, grabs All Might's arm, and pretty much pits his claws so deep into All Might's arm that makes All Might yell out in pain and make All Might bleed out. Deku scratches a huge gash in All Might's face. Now, in certain areas, Deku can turn you with a scratch, like in your stomach, but nothing else. If Deku scratches you anywhere else, you ain't gonna turn, unless he bites you there. So yeah, Deku starts scratching to All Might, and eventually drop kicks him down into the ground and starts, pouncing on him. Eventually, Bakugo gets back up, being able to, um, blow through the pain and runs over to Deku and starts, they both start jumping All Might. All Might grabs Bakugo's arm and pretty much chucks it straight to Deku, knocking him over off of All Might. Mike gets up and goes for a Detroit smash at both of them, and Deku takes out his ring from his back pocket after because he de-transformed when Bakugo landed into him. So Deku takes out his wolf ring, puts it on, and he starts feeling his bones break and fall onto the ground. Now Deku's transformed for a long time, so Deku was a little bit numb to the pain, but he still feels his bones breaking, so he still does yell a little bit. Bakugo looks over at the Deku and says, Did I break a bone? I'm not that heavy. No, I'm not that heavy, nerd. Deku says, Get away from and get me only to All Might. Bakugo says gladly and grabs Deku's the chain a part of his outfit, and chucks him straight towards All Might. All Might, All Might sees this about to go for a Detroit smash, but he gets met with a nasty bite right into the face. Well, not in the face, but like in the neck. Now, Deku in his werewolf form, only way he can turn him in his you could turn somebody in Deku's werewolf form is if he puts every single teeth in his mouth inside of your flesh. So that's how Deku turned Shigaraki because he wasn't holding back. Now Deku is holding back. He's just doing his front row of teeth into All Might's arm. All Might throws back Deku, and Deku did bite him in the same arm that he clawed into. All Might falls out to the ground, bleeding out, and Deku pounces straight for All Might. Bakugo goes for a run for it, leaving Deku going straight for the exit. Now, Bakugo doesn't stop there, just stops right at the exit, takes one of his grenades, and says, you blind biatch. And pretty much All Might was going for, a Delaware smash towards Bakugo. Bakugo throws a grenade right at All Might's head, blowing All Might back into Deku. Deku, knocking him out by pouncing him straight on his head and making him land straight into the concrete, knocking him out cold. I mean, like making a crater underneath him. But Deku doesn't stop there. Deku's about to, literally eat All Might alive while he's asleep. Now, Bakugo seeing this throws another grenade towards Deku. Deku grabs it with his mouth, but it is met with a huge explosion in his mouth, getting pushed back. Deku starts regenerating, going back into his human form, seeing that his ring is about to, transform Deku again. Deku takes it off, puts it in the back pocket, and sprints off to the exit. Bakugo and Deku win, and everything's good. All Might does go to a recovery girl, gets a little bit stitched up, but he's still, good enough to, be a hero. Now, Deku is considering on turning All Might because he did mess him up really bad. But next day, seeing that All Might's, walking around all fine, Deku, assumes that, he's good. Now, let's get to Bakugo's part of the story. Now, I will be featuring vampires and hybrids sometime in the future. And I might just be a little teaser. Somebody with a little bit of hardening might be a hybrid. So Deku pretty much goes home, and we get hit with Bakugo's story. Bakugo's in his house and gets ready to go to his cousin's house. Deku goes to his cousin's house, walks into the mansion, and sees that his cousin's drinking something, a red liquid in his cup, and Bakugo says, "Is that wine?" He says, "Yeah," and throws it and puts it on his table. He walks over to Bakugo and says, "Let me tell you a little something about our sort of kind of family." Now, pretty much, you're probably wondering, vampires do live a long line in Bakugo's bloodline. But, Bakugo's bloodline, after Bakugo's great-great-grandfather, the vampire gene stopped working and they became human when they were born. Now, Bakugo's cousin wanted to change that and turn his family ancestry back into vampires, starting with Bakugo. Now, in this universe, vampires can sexually reproduce. So Bakugo, sorry guys, Bakugo sees that, his cousin's taking him to the living room, and pretty much takes off the ring on his finger and opens the curtains, and Bakugo sees that his skin is, burning. Bakugo runs over there and pretty much lashes the curtains back up and looks down to his cousin and says, "What was that for? Is it some sort of, quirk of yours?" Bakugo says no. Bakugo's cousin says no and says that it's our family curse and that you need to have it to become stronger than that wolf kid that you, lost to. Bakugo gets angry and said, "I didn't lose to anybody." And he says, "Yeah, right." Pretty much explaining to Bakugo about his family ancestry and that how vampires and werewolves are real and maybe even and also witches are sort of real. Witches aren't really that common nowadays, but they are real. So Deku's brother, I mean Bakugo's cousin. I'm so sorry, guys. Bakugo's cousin explains to Deku that I'm going to help you become more, vampire. And pretty much grabs Bakugo from the shoulder and says, drink this. And it's the same cup his brother was drinking out of, but it's refilled with something else. A more thicker, blacker red liquid. Deku looks down and it says, what am I supposed to do with this? And Deku's cousin says, drink it. All of it. Bakugo drinks it all, and after that, the second he puts down the cup, Deku's brother snaps at Bakugo's neck. I mean, Bakugo's cousin snaps Bakugo's neck. Bakugo falls down and starts, changing after a couple of hours, and wakes up with with bright, glowing red eyes, and dark veins around his eyes, and fangs. Eventually, he gets up and he falls into the curtains. Deku's cousin sees him and says, "Hold up!" And the curtains fall, and he gets lashed with a huge bolt of light. Deku's cousin covers him up and says, "Take this." And it's about 4 daylight rings. So yeah, about 4 daylight rings. Deku's cousin gives him a daylight ring. Deku's Bakugo. Oh man, I'm just scratching this up. Cousin, I'm gonna say cousin. Bakugo grabs the ring, puts it on, goes back in the curtains and sees that nothing's happening. After a couple days, Bakugo finds out that he has all the traditional vampire powers, including he does have all the vampire powers, like superhuman speed, agility, strength, reflexes, also super hearing, super smell, and the lust for blood, and also what was it? Another power that whereas vampires have, they can regenerate, they can super heal, and also Bakugo can shapeshift like the traditional vampire, like into a bat or a wolf or a pretty much deer or anything that Bakugo wants to transform into. Bakugo mainly transforms into a lion time to time. But yeah, Bakugo is super happy and actually very excited to, show off his newfound abilities. Now, Bakugo's brother says that just say that it was a dormant quirk in your in your chromosomes that only activated a couple days ago. Okay? Bakugo says, okay, and pretty much walks off. Deku's brother says this is going to be a great, start into our family legacy and restart. Now, Bakugo still, needs to have bloodlust, and Bakugo over the days did learn how to control his bloodlust to a certain extent to have control over, so he can, feed on people without, draining them dry and killing them. And also, Bakugo can still, compel people like vampires, traditionally do, compel people. So, pretty much, Bakugo goes home and pretty much looks on his daylight ring and saying that it is pretty cool. Now let me show you a little picture of Bakugo's daylight ring. There you go, guys. That's the ring. Bakugo becoming a vampire changes the story completely. Now, I'll get into that story later on in part 7. Now, guys, see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the what if. And have a swell, blessed day. Bye. Oh, also, and I will be shipping Bakugo with somebody, so you can go in the comments and ask me what you want to do for that. So yeah, guys, and please comment down a story that you guys want me to do. Doesn't really matter. See you guys later. Bye.